Good morning, folks. This is Judy, Green Pastures Farm. We're here on it's like February 10th. We just moved the sheep. They're just now starting to come into the paddock. You can see where the polywire was, where the snow is and where the snow isn't. And it's raining. It was sleeting a while ago. It's just a really wet morning out here. It's warm. It's I don't know, I think they said this morning it was 40, 42 or 43, so what we're getting is not freezing on the ground, but if it gets cold, we're going to have a lot of ice, because we got a lot of moisture laying on the ground now. And we do have a freeze under us. That's why the water's not soaking in, as the ground is froze. But you look at the sheep coming in, man, are they good condition. We got a bunch of dogs in here. We've got a customer coming to pick one up tomorrow, one of our older dogs, the big blackish dog. He's going to a new home in Pennsylvania. But anyway, we've got a drag on that dog. That's the one that was trying to roam a little bit. She's a young pup, and that has really stopped her. I mean, we don't see her out on the road so much anymore. Slowed her down. We'll leave that on her for a little while. She's learned to navigate with it. She just takes off and kind of pulls it to the side. Just enough that it's not quite as easy to roam as it was. But look at the condition on that ewe. I mean, folks, they're on some pretty meager grazing right here. This has been cow grazed, probably a month ago. And I mean, there's not much left out here. There's ground cover. But look how fat those sheep are. I mean, people said, do you give them shelter? No, we don't. Sheep don't need shelter in the wintertime, as long as you've got a few trees and draws to get into. And we just don't have a building on our farm. Look at that. Sheep stay fat on the darndest stuff. Now today, they do have some timber. They do like going into timber. And all the way back along this creek, all the way to the road, there's timber. They'll be in there eating those oak leaves. I've seen them eat oak leaves when the snow was on them. They did just fine on them. But yeah, we've got a single wire run along that creek over there. They're locked out of water. They're eating, forage. They don't need water in the wintertime as long as they're eating forage. If you lock sheep up in a round pen or something, or a corral, and just feed them dry hay, you better feed them water, or give them access to water, because there's no moisture in what they're eating. Look at them. They're all just going to town on it. So they'll be in this strip 2 days. It goes all the way back to the road. We've already grazed this eastern gammon grass field. We got like 10 days out of that one. Anyway, when we get done here, we're crossing the road, and we've got about 80 acres over there. They're barking at Alex. He's got that bright orange raincoat on. We're usually in here in a four-wheeler, but this morning it was raining so much, we just decided we'd walk it in. We just walked over and rolled the wire up. But see how the sheep, when the dogs start barking, the sheep all go into a ball, kind of. They're used to that. Because when the dogs bark, there's danger. There's normally danger. It's instinct. Your guardian starts barking, you need to be looking out, because there may be something coming down there to try to rip your throat out. That's the thing about sheep. It's amazing how they've evolved, because they can't outrun a predator. They can't bite a predator. They can't kick a predator, and they can't butt a predator effectively. And so it's just amazing that they've been able to exist. But they wouldn't unless it wasn't for man and providing some kind of guardian dog to protect them. So we're a big believer in dogs. We just don't lose anything to predators. And the dogs work. Some dogs don't. You got to get rid of them. They end up being pets or whatever, but a large majority of them do work. And they make excellent. They allow you to sleep at night. Because I guarantee you there's a coyote up there in that woods probably watching us from a distance. And if we weren't here, somebody asked the other day, why do you got the dogs with the sheep? It looks like just a lot of extra trouble. Folks, if we didn't have the dogs with the sheep, we wouldn't have any sheep. The coyotes would clean them out in just about, probably I don't know, 2 weeks, there'd be every single animal in here would be dead. They just come in and kill them. I wanted to show you our paddock division over here. Just hold on, I'm walking, so those of y'all that got vertigo, I'm sorry. You can see this is an old briar patch. It was so thick, folks, that you couldn't walk through it. Now I have been helping the animals. I come in here once a year and I brush hog it. That's it. And then when it tries to grow back, the sheep and the cattle, mainly the sheep, they really worked the leaves over on these things. You can see they're still here, but they're getting thinner. I mean, it used to be you could walk through this thing. That's how thick it was. I wanted to show you, this is what we're turning sheep with. And this is on snow. This is how well we got our sheep grown. Now see that wire? Can you see it? There it is. That wire's at about 12 inches. And then if you got a little rise in the landscape, it goes on up to, right there is probably around 10 inches. But 10 to 12 inches, it's actually the fourth clip down on your step ends. See that? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the fourth one down from the bottom. And that's perfect. Alex and them, when they ran this, they ran out of wire. This is what we do. So that reel ran out. That came clear from the road over there. So that's over a quarter mile. It's 1,320 feet of wire. We ran out. What do? You lay your reel on the ground and you do this. Okay. All that is, folks, is a slip knot. Okay. So we take this fence up, you grab a hold of these two loose ends and just pull on that, and it'll untie. Don't tie a square knot. You'll never get it undone. But there's enough contact there in that knot that it's carrying voltage on down the line here, and it's really easy to do. But don't take the reel. When you run out of the reel, lay it on the opposite side of your livestock. If you had cows in here, you sure wouldn't want to put it over here. Cows might stomp it. Just leave it over there. They can't touch it. And just keep right on going with your fence. It's just going down through the trees and everything else. And Alex and I came in here this morning. The sheep were wanting to be moved. They had not moved themselves. Okay? They knew we were going to be here this morning to move them. That's part of it. Isn't that a beautiful sight? Animals out on the land feeding themselves first week of February. Bunch of dogs nestled in there. I think there's 10 guardian dogs in there, keeping our sheep safe and at bay. And of the 10, there's 7 of those that are pups that range from 5 months all the way up to 10 months. It takes about a year, folks. And I tell people, if you can have enough patience, just give your dog some time. He's going to make some mistakes. Reprimand him when he's bad. They're going to make some mistakes when they're young. They're just puppies. It's puppy behavior. But be patient. Let the dog get mature. Hopefully that's going to be around a year. Some take longer, a year and a half. But by golly, when they get mature and they get that stupidness out of them, you've got a good dog. He's going to live with them sheep. He's going to protect them sheep. And he's always going to be with the sheep. That's as long as you got the right dog breed. I really like the Marima. The 1/2 Marima, the Anatolian Shepherd, and the Pyrenees. So it's a half Marima, a quarter Anatolian, and a quarter Pyr. I don't like a pure Pyrenees because the ones we've got have all been killed. They just roam. They get hit out there on that highway, and I'm just not going to raise any more of them. I'm tired of feeding dogs and having them killed after I've got them matured and basically kind of knowing what's going on, except for they don't stay with the sheep. Folks, this is the kind of landscape you run sheep on. Yeah, this is kind of flat right here, but it's got a little bit of a drop right here, so there are some dry spots in here. But most of this sheep farm, where we run the sheep, it's pretty hilly. And you don't want just solid flat ground for sheep, because it's not going to be drained well enough. Too much moisture, and your sheep don't do good in lots of moisture. They need to have some dry feet occasionally. But I tell you what, if you've got a small piece of ground, 10 acres, I have a lot of people emailing me, well, Greg, I'd like to get started in the cattle business, and I've got 10 acres, or 12, or 14. Well, that's fine if you're really married to cattle, but you can run a lot more sheep on that small acreage than you can cows. So for every cow you run, remember that's 5 ewes. Okay? So, and you don't need to own a bull, because of course you don't have any cows. If you've got 14 acres and you got a couple cows, how are you going to get those 2 cows bred? Well, you got to do AI, which is kind of a pain in the butt, or you got to use your neighbor's bull, or you got to figure it out. But with sheep, you can keep you a ram, and it's not like keeping a bull. It's a lot cheaper. Look at them, they're all feeding themselves, and nothing is feeling sorry for itself. That's what I like about sheep. They don't feel sorry for themselves. They just go out and eat. That's what they do. Anyway, I'm going to sign off here. It's a kind of a chilly, cool, wet morning here in February, but the sheep don't seem to mind.